I
All
am
right,
very
sure.
pleased to introduce John Webb, who's a rising senior studying applied mathematics and fluid dynamics. Over the summer, John has been working to quantify the sustainability impact of some of Lonza's ongoing projects and take a look forward at potential future projects. Specifically, John has been focusing on Lonza's high purity water systems and has done a great job applying his analytical skills to Lonza's real world application. His work has greatly assisted with Lonza's sustainability roadmap and plan to reach the 2030 sustainability goals. So take it
Thank you
away,
so
John.
much, Ali. Thank you. So as Ali said, my name's John Webb. I worked for Lonza Biologics this summer on their 2030 sustainability roadmap, which is a set of goals aimed at reducing their impact by 50% in 4 key areas, those being carbon emissions, waste generation, water consumption, and energy usage, all by the year 2030. Next slide, please. So my first project that I worked on at Lonza was the development of a waste balance. And this graph that you see here is just one component of that. It shows the waste flow of the entire Lonza Portsmouth site, where all the waste is being generated in these 4 categories that you see to the left, and their final destinations to the right. So this diagram is going to be very useful for Lonza, as they can really zero in on prominent waste generation areas. For example, the manufacturing trash that's headed to incineration at over 200 tons, so that they can zero in on those areas as a place of focus and find solutions to reduce their waste impact there. Next slide, please, Ali. The other project that I worked on this summer was the assessment of the cost of a startup for the water for injection still at the Lonza Portsmouth site. So water for injection is sterilized water that's produced to medical quality, so it can be diluted in medications and blended with medicines. And it's a really important part of Lonza's production process. The way that the machine works currently is when there's a high demand for water for injection on site, the machine starts up. And then as that demand decreases, the machine has to stop and then start up again when demand increases again. So all of those startups are costly, both in money and resources, and there's carbon emissions are related with them. So my job was to assess exactly how much each of those machine starts is costing. And then, because there's 2 stills on site that we're analyzing, expand that out to the year, considering both machines. So in the assessment that I did, the key takeaways are that it's costing the company quite a bit of money annually to have these startups take place, and it's wasting a lot of water. But one important thing to take note is that the energy and the carbon emissions associated with it are relatively minimal. So focus on these startups, as far as the 2030 sustainability roadmap is concerned, is going to have an impact on water waste and cost, but it won't necessarily make significant progress towards the 50% reduction goals in energy and carbon. Some solutions for the efficiencies of this machine include variable frequency drives. So that would be a way to control the speed that the water for injection is produced at, so that the machine can continue running even when demand is moderate, and it'll eliminate the need for a stop on the machine. Also, new technologies such as reverse osmosis are something that Lonza could consider, although there are a lot of obstacles as far as policy and infrastructure with such a technology. But that type of technology would have a greater impact on energy and carbon reduction. Next slide, please, Ali. So if we're looking at all the 4 categories mentioned in the 2030 roadmap, there are some solutions that Lonza could consider for each of them. For example, as far as the waste is concerned, composting the cafeteria trash would be a really great way to divert waste from incineration and have that be recycled. And then Lonza could definitely consider implementing energy sources like solar and biofuel to move away from reliance on natural gas, which would help them reduce their carbon emissions as well. So this internship was really valuable for me because I got some really awesome hands-on experience under some really, really talented people, which was really cool. And I got to learn a lot about the challenges that a company faces when they're trying to implement sustainability measures in the real world. Specifically, I want to thank my mentors, Alex Gianluca, Lauren Giannini, Tucker Gallant, and everybody in the EHS office and the engineering department. I absolutely could not have done this without you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, John, for another great presentation. So I've got a few questions for you here. First,
Mhm.
just I guess a pretty big one. So that Lonza has this 2030 sustainability goal, and
Yeah.
2030 is over 6 years away now, but that's coming up. And so what do you think are some of the major um, challenges and opportunities for achieving that goal based on the specific analysis you've done and for the other aspects of their energy and carbon?
Sure. Well, definitely some of the challenges are that as the company is growing, it's hard to get a really accurate assessment of how much energy they're going to be using in years to come. A lot of these assessments are for the previous year, essentially 2022. So that would be one of the biggest challenges. I think one of the biggest opportunities that Lonza has is as far as the carbon is concerned. They have an opportunity to reuse carbon on site in the form of wastewater neutralization. So having a device that can capture that carbon would significantly reduce their emissions, and it would be being reused on site in a way that's not putting more carbon into the atmosphere. So I would say, yeah, that's probably one of the biggest challenge and one of the biggest opportunities that they face now.
Great. And I know that you worked on multiple projects here across
Mhm.
multiple departments, and
Yeah.
it's really appropriate for a sustainability project because sustainability is a multidisciplinary field.
Mhm.
And wondering if you could say more about how you collaborated with individuals from different backgrounds, different areas of expertise during your fellowship.
Sure. So the Lonza has a sustainability committee that meets regularly, and that includes engineers and people from the environmental health and safety department, as well as people in the finance department. So hearing all of them come together and share their ideas was really neat. I know that my mentor would be part of those meetings as well. And it was cool to see how um, the company can kind of work together across multiple areas, I guess, in that sense. Some places are coming up with a need, like in the environmental health and safety, they're recognizing, maybe these efficiency improvements aren't significant enough. And then that can go back to the engineering department and say, well, here's why we need these efficiency improvements, but maybe we're hearing what you're saying and we can look at other ways to make more of a significant impact.
Yeah, I love that. So getting into the details on the specific projects, but coming together to look at the big picture
Mhm.
and working together to find solutions. Great. Well, thank you so much, John, for a great presentation.